Gambia's health minister warns that care must be taken to prevent explosive stage of coronavirus. Marketplaces in Uganda are being disinfected to prevent spread of COVID-19. Life in Zimbabwean capital Harare signals need for help as government pumps over $2 million bailout. These and more coming on The World Today. Hello, this is iAfrica TV and many thanks for joining us. It is 1800 GMT here in our studios in Banjul. You are watching the World Today News Bulletin and I am Amadou Kante, and now the news in detail. Now, due to the rapid spread of the coronavirus in the world, Gambia's health minister has advised Gambians not to be complacent, especially at a time when Gambia has recorded 10 cases of the virus. Experience from other countries, he said, shows that the virus emanated with only a few cases, but it eventually reached onto an explosive stage. Gambia confirmed one new case of the virus on Sunday, bringing a total number of active cases to 6. More of that in this report.
Gambia's health minister appealed to Gambians to respect all preventive measures of the coronavirus on point, that the virus could go viral as in the cases of countries where dozens of deaths are the scenario. Gambia confirmed one new cases of the coronavirus, bringing the total number of cases in the country to 10, out of which 7 are receiving treatment. In a joint press conference with the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, the Minister of Health, Dr. Amadou Lamin Samate, noted that the Gambia is preparing for the worst scenario.
We are getting prepared. We are not complacent. The fact that we've had 9 cases is not stopping us from strengthening our plans. Now, but we also appeal to the general public not to be complacent.
It has been predicted that the Gambia would record over 100,000 cases of the coronavirus in the next 3 months if the public fails to give due regards to the preventive measures recommended by the Ministry of Health. Director of Medical Service Dr. Mustafa Bitey told journalists on Sunday that 22 test results, including samples of the 6 cases under treatment, were negative. A repeat test will now have to be conducted to decide the fate of those in treatment centers.
Out of the 23 lab results received, 1 returned as positive. The newly confirmed case is a hitherto probable case whose first repeat test results was negative. The remaining 22 results returned negative. Of these, 6 are results of repeat tests on the 6 existing cases. They will be resampled in 1 to 3 days to ascertain recovery status. The remaining 16 are results of new tests conducted.
For nearly 1 month now, the Gambia has invested more than $1 million in efforts to contain the spread of coronavirus, according to the Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, Mr. Mambure Njai.
The President did approve 500 million specifically for financing COVID-19. Prior to that, we released 12 million. That was the immediate release just to make sure we respond to COVID-19. As at now, April 16, we have spent 140
Start a new case. The Minister of course, of Health advised Gambia not to be complacent on the fight against the COVID-19. Well, we'll move to our next story because a video circulating on social media shows how a supporter of the Alliance for Patriotic Reorientation and Construction Party released a humanitarian gesture from Isam Baifal, lead counsel of the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparation Commission, TRRC. He had been on the move to distribute food items to poor and needy families within the Greater Banjul area as part of efforts to curb the spread of the coronavirus in the country. One London Banjul who claimed to be a service chief could be seen with his family in Lament village arguing bitterly with the team led by Council Fal that they were not in hunger to accept a favor from the lead counsel of the TRRC.
Service officer. It's very simple. I said, you don't need. I don't need. It's very simple. Okay, thank you. So today, sir. I don't need it. I don't need it. We are hungry.
The incident has been seen the incident has been seen by Gambian from all walks of lives, divided in opinions as who may be at fault. Although no police arrest was effected in connection to the incident, now Gambian journalist Fatou Mane joins us on the line to share her observation on the matter. Thank you very much, Fatou, for joining us. What is your take on the incident?
Well, like everybody else, I am just reading it and observing it. Don't know how it started, and I don't know the specifics of the incident, but I think it's very, very unfortunate.
All right. Now, why must Mr. Baji reject a gesture? Has this got to do with the efforts of the TRC bringing former President Jammeh to justice?
Probably. If he's a Jammeh supporter, maybe, but we don't know. I'm sure it's a very kind gesture, but it's not that he should take it or receive it. If he doesn't want it, we should respect that too.
Now, how would you assess is a false gesture? People say he has a political agenda. What is your view on that?
A kind gesture is a kind gesture, whether he has a political agenda or not. It has nothing to do with that, and we can't tell. He was just helping out.
All right, thank you very much for your thoughts there, sharing your observation on the situation. That was Fatou Mane, a Gambian journalist, of course, sharing her thoughts on the incident that happened between Esa Fal's team and, of course, a supporter of the APRC. Now we move next, where a COVID-19 patient in South Africa is extending support to the medical staff after she successfully underwent treatment of the coronavirus disease. She is using her hotels to accommodate medical staff who work for long hours to help infected patients. She is also engaged in fundraising activities to consolidate her efforts. Let's have more details of that in this report.
South African hotelier Kim Whittaker contracted a mild case of COVID-19 in Europe. While in quarantine, she decided to use her own hotels, now standing empty, to accommodate medical staff working long hours in two of the worst-hit provinces.
In areas where the coronavirus is spiking, the healthcare workers are starting to reach out and say, I'd prefer to stay in a lodge or a guest house close to my hospital as opposed to commuting back and forth and going home to my loved ones. I have a hotel in Cape Town and one in Johannesburg called Once in Cape Town and Once in Joburg. And I thought, actually, this is how I can help. I can offer our rooms.
Medical intern Chisabel Imposa graduates in December. She's been thrust into the forefront of treating sick patients. Her grueling 12-hour shifts are likely to get longer as the need for intensive care grows.
It's not so easy to travel with public transport as it was before. And also being closer, it's less time on the road, because my mom's a bit older. In terms of exposure and things like that, I thought it was just a little bit easier. and more comfortable to stay quite closer to the hospital. In all honesty, I just really shower, eat. I'll maybe watch like half an episode of Netflix, but by the time the plot thickens, I'm probably quite passed out.
Whitaker is working with banking group RMB and other platforms to raise capital through ubuntubeds.org. She's appealed to individuals and other hotels to come on board.
So if you want to sponsor one night for a healthcare worker, or if you'd like to sponsor 1 week for a healthcare worker, you can go on and log on to the website and contribute. So whether it's an Airbnb apartment or you know someone who runs a guest house or B&B, register on the site, because the more accommodation places we have in our database, the closer we're going to be able to find places to the relevant hospitals when the need arises.
Every second counts for healthcare workers in the cold face of this pandemic. Being able to save precious hours will give them much needed rest and peace of mind to continue fighting on the front lines.
From the report there in South Africa, we come back home and continue reporting on matters of the COVID-19. Now, a few weeks after Chinese billionaire Jack Ma donated African medical materials to support the fight against COVID-19 pandemic, another support is today anticipated from China. The initial support received by the World Food Programme on behalf of the Gambia considered masks, test kits and protective gears for medical facilities. Stakeholders are currently at the Banjul International Airport to receive the packages on behalf of the government of the Gambia, where our colleague Ibrahim Abba is on standby for the updates. Well, thank you very much, Ibrahim, again for coming through. How is it going this evening at the foot of the cargo? Yes. Press, if you can hear me now, I was just asking, how is it going this evening at the foot of the cargo?
Yeah, the cargo is being emptied now. Offloading has taken place by, the official of the Gambia Civil Aviation Authority in the presence of World Food Programme and, officials from the government of the Gambia and those on the logistic team have already done the uploading. And now the packages are, put aside for onward transmission to various recipients in a more formal handing over ceremony. So officials are now on the ground to do the official handing over.
Now, what are the stakeholders like World Food Programme saying?
The country representative of the World Food Programme, presided over the uploading, and the responsibility of her organization is to facilitate the movement of these material from the various destinations, from the cargo from the China to the Gambia, and now that has been done. So what the World Food Programme also did was to arrange it in such a way that within the airport premises for the Ministry of Ministry of Foreign Affairs to arrive here, and the Ministry of Health, and plus the embassy of People's Republic of China to the Gambia to do the onward forwarding. But the World Food Programme has been in the background to facilitate the movement and the arrival of the consignment from the People's Republic of China to the Gambia.
Now, has the Chinese ambassador said something about the donation?
The Chinese ambassador to the Gambia just arrived with a technical team, and if you could see on the background, you will realize that a lot of members from the Chinese embassy are already here. They are inspecting the packages, trying to verify the labels. We've seen them, doing those sort of, arrangement to see exactly what, you can see them, what actually, is on the ground here. And they are here with the ambassador, who is in the other side of the airport, right now having a tete-a-tete with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Momodu Tangara, also for the Ministry of Health, in the Gambia. So I'm sure the Minister of Health is yet to be here, but officials from the Health Promotion Directorate and Education are here. So the other stakeholders who are, responsible for the marking the formal, handing over of these medical items to the Gambia. These items are coming at a time when a day after, the second consignment from the Jack Ma Foundation arrived in the Gambia last evening. In fact, it was in the night. The World Food Program was on the airport ground to receive the second consignment of, medical items coming from the Jack Ma Foundation. That is the Alibaba Group. So this other consignment is actually coming direct from the government of the People's Republic of China to the Gambia. So meaning that, the bilateral coinage or the bilateral relation between China and the Gambia is being emphasized at the other background of the airport.
All right. Now, just lastly, of course, you mentioned about the health minister and, of course, the foreign affairs minister. Now, do we know whether they are there to receive these materials on behalf of the Gambia government?
Yes, the ministries are here to receive the donation from the Chinese government. But it is in such a way that first it has to go to the World Food Program, who will then hand it over to the Chinese ambassador to the Gambia, who will now, perform the international relationship with the Gambia. So it is a, step by step, or it involves a lot of segments for the item to eventually reach to the Gambia. So for the meantime, both the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and the Minister of Health are expected to do the receiving on behalf of the government of the Gambia, and that ground is almost set for that now.
All right, thank you very much. Our correspondent at the Banjul International Airport, Ibrahim Presba, talking to us live on the arrival of course, materials from China for the Gambia. And with that development from the airport, we will now take a break and come back shortly with the remaining of the story. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Have your say.
Fellow Gambians, my government has approved a $500 million emergency fund, which the Ministries of Health and Finance will work on for disbursement and use to fight COVID-19 menace.
xaalis bi tege yomb na waaye xamul lu jafe mooy séddale bi niñ ko séddalee ak ndax danañ ko jox ñi ko yeeyoo wala duñ leen ko jox loolu moo jara laajte.
cos loo xam ne la nit yee tax ñu joxe ko te nit ñi ñoo leen fa teg te xaalis nit yi la comme xaalis yi population bi la wax dëgg yàlla li gënoon mooy ku nekk gis sa boppa
man su ma sañoon daal ñu séddoo ko nu mu waroo buñ si def xaaj loo ñii diw nañ ko si ku nekk loo war a am nga am ko.
askan bi seen dem ak dikk bu ñu wàññee mu jël ko def ko si loolu noonu participer ko si loolu noonu ba nga xam ne danañ mën a ànd ak moom si wàññi suñ dem ak suñ dikk.
génne leen xaalis bi nañ ko génnee ñu defar suñu réew mi defar réew nag da nga koy commencé njàng mu baax nit ñi di faju feebar di faju tan feebar di faju dafa xemul kombo loolu affaire bi du kombo rek nañ génne ci àll bi yëpp ñu defar fa hôpital li war man mi nekk kombo moo war ka nekk fototo moo war ka nekk Pokaw Njóogu moo war ko nekk feneen.
waaye nit doo ko mën a wax mu teg këram joxuloo ko dara lu mu lekk soo ñun balaa corona dañu rey xiif moo ñoo rey.
nguur bi su nekkee ne 500 millions Gambia ñaata population bi ñu ñaata lañ
2 point or 1 point
ok 2 point boobu noonu su nekkee dañ ko war a séddale si nit ñi ku nekk ñaata la war a am
million su bëri soosu noonu nañ ko xaaj jox xel benn xaaf ñu téyegum ñu jël beneen xaaf bi yóbbu ko ci communauté bi ñu téyegum
ko silang ni nga arda ko bulu courant lu sorota ani borolu sayin pentanglu panande nyante hakilo falol fanan kanne
ya foko nga ta si suo kono ha man sala million be maburu nga bulo kono man sana la kuol bebe kuo be kala jeto hana nyil min fankana fontolen ko nga ta si suo kono fotolo man tara man sa do kuol nin karo fate man tara kejo
xaalis boobu dañ ko war a xaaj ñu jël xaaj bi dugal ko ci wéru yaram bi ñaareel xaaj bi dugal ko ci askan bi
Have your say.
Welcome back. You are watching the World Today News Bulletin on Africa TV, and now to the rest of the stories. Donation given to the Farato Committee by its two youth organizations to promote the stay-at-home call as a measure to prevent the spread of coronavirus pandemic in the country. The two, of course, the donation champions donated bags of rice, bottles of oil and bags of sugar. Aissatou Tamba has more details of that in this report.
Nema United Community and the Empowering Girls Gambia rendered humanitarian support to the community of Farato village with bags of rice, sugar and bottles of oil. The donation championed by Empowering Girls Gambia under the leadership of a Hollandia national is gained towards helping Gambians in the trying times of the coronavirus pandemic. Fabakary Sedikan, speaking on behalf of the association, said the Gambia is undergoing food scarcity because half of the population is living from hand to mouth. He said Ramadan is fast approaching, during which price of food items is likely to increase.
Ngamira Gambia baluo amantam femmantam bi manola. Nina da jibe mano nim fenne ka tambi nyola. Wala mumunti tulolembang, jabolembang and so on. But nina da jibe fanang na mirodo wala munyinti ko sunkaro fila ya nyati linna kana. Yo sunkaro men kana a jamabe je iman nid mano dammala, iman nid tulo dammala, ba yinita sukurola. Anum fenne munyinti me alonko na fuare kundato mbe mu fuarolti. Aka kembulu problem bati pour ka asodono wato bela laftala wato men.
The organization launched fundraising ventures through which its present situation background of communities within the poverty line. Mr. Sedikan said, although there are few cases reported in the country, but its impact is hitting very hard on the people.
Momorondi yalonko abali kono, ning arte isembo sano isi mo mako no mani botot. Ning arte isembo sano isa mako tulot. Isembo sano isa mako jaboto anin sukuro. Allah mantabe ngo tilifula kono nataje ko mani botot tang anin worawula. Tilisaba kono ngaje ko mani botot tan sabanin feng. Janni ba fula lokum be banna atara man bodo taworo nin feng sa en tolka mem mira a falintale completely wo kono lemu janni lokum be banna ko mi ngafu nyamen dron nadata inata kodo soto men a tiada man bodo tan seiti.
Ajafatu Sow, Alcalo of Farato village, thanked the Youth Association for rendering support to her community. She expressed delight that the youth she considered future leaders of the village are taking the front seat in nation development.
De aman surprise back. Bawo nga ku jamal ke jande minu yalo min mu Farato la nyato ta kol. Wati wo wati ala dia molto ala aksonolto fengo fem wala mu munti ala nga kadanga Farato sambanyato. Ika foi dalal andu ila ke baru sonan ke jele. Ay minu beke jang police ya sata janna man jaringam si wol dol ko ay do ko jamal ke jang pulu kurangol tada computer nyol tada police station oto e anin lopitano to ku jama dal.
The donation items are expected to go a long way in promoting the stay-at-home call as a measure to prevent the spread of the coronavirus in the country. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Aissatou Tamba.
Youth groups there in Farato, of course, supporting the community in the village. And from that report, next we head to Nigeria, where some residents in the Iju-Azaka suburb of Lagos form vigilante groups to defend their neighborhood against criminal gangs involved in looting during the coronavirus lockdown. As you can see in this footage film over the week, so several men armed with machetes, cutlasses, and even sticks with nails while patrolling the street of the residential area.
People, we cannot sleep, we cannot eat. They didn't give us rest of mind. Every day we are doing vigilante everywhere. So we are tired of them, and our government did not assist us. We are tired of them. Look at us. Everybody is outside. No sleeping, no eating, no food. They did not give us food.
Last week, the Nigerian police forces tweeted that they will intensify patrols around residential areas, markets, shopping malls, and all critical national infrastructures to effectively tackle all emerging crimes associated with the COVID-19 lockdown. But the efforts of the government is not that satisfactory to many. Nigeria has reported 542 confirmed coronavirus cases and 19 related deaths, according to Johns Hopkins University. From Nigeria, next to Uganda, where the Ugandan health authorities have intensified efforts to curb the spread of coronavirus by disinfecting marketplaces in the capital, Kampala. Health officials are also considering preventive measures of malaria being the country's most common disease. Since the initial lockdown, vendors were not able to leave the market, with government providing protective materials during their stay in the markets. For more details of that, we go with this report.
Like every other country in the world, Uganda is taking precautionary measures aimed at curbing the spread of the novel coronavirus. The Ministry of Health kicked off the fumigation of markets around the capital, Kampala, in a bid to reduce the risks. Vendors have in recent times been seeking refuge in markets since the beginning of the lockdown to avoid infecting their loved ones.
Imagine if many people get malaria, the health system is already compromised at paying attention to COVID. So if we get malaria and a lot of malaria and we have two things to deal with, it becomes so difficult. So it is very important that other diseases right now are prevented. And our most common disease in Uganda is malaria. And you know, it also presents similar to COVID with fevers. So we shall increase the number of people whom we have to screen for COVID. So for that reason, it is very important that malaria is controlled.
Markets are usually crowded places, making it easier for the virus to spread. However, this has come with its own set of challenges. Braving the cold has subjected the vendors to diseases such as malaria.
The risk which we had was, this announcement got some people when they are already in the market. When they said the curfew starts with the immediate effect. So most of the people here have been, especially the ladies, remained here. Some of them are coming from very far, where they could not actually move in order to get what they need. So even the beds, the bed sheets, the blankets which they would be having, they didn't have it at that time.
The extension of the lockdown has come with even more challenges.
The president asked us to sleep in the market for 2 weeks because it's not good to put our children's lives at risk. But now the lockdown has been extended and it has been harsh. We would cover ourselves with polythene bags when it rains and umbrellas, but the mosquitoes were too much, and we thank the government for the nets.
The fight against the coronavirus in African countries is riddled by many constricting challenges. For market vendors in Uganda, they hope that the government's proposed plan will propel them back to business and grant their families safety.
From the report in Kampala, Uganda, next we head to Zimbabwe and report on matters of the coronavirus, because the impact of COVID-19 has further weakened living conditions of Zimbabweans staying in the outskirts of the capital, Harare. With many residents living in poverty, the way of life is becoming more complicated by the day. The government has launched a $2.2 million as response package for the affected people who usually receive support from the United Nations Food Agency, WFP. For more of that, we go with this report.
62-year-old Faisa Savanu lives off paltry earnings from collecting used plastic bottles and growing whatever she can in her garden. She's unwell and has back problems which affects her ability to do both effectively. Because she's below 65 years of age, she does not qualify to receive food aid from the government. She literally has to scrape by to feed herself and 2 grandchildren.
We can't afford to eat in the morning, afternoon and evening. Most of the time, my grandchildren will eat before they go to school, and that's all until supper. They don't carry anything to school for lunch either.
Across the road lives Jenny Pararadza. She's among millions of beneficiaries of a social welfare food aid scheme under which she used to receive 50 kilograms of maize each month, which has now been replaced by a cash payout.
The $180 I received can't meet my food requirements. The price of maize meal and all other commodities have gone up. Last month, I managed to buy just 1 bottle of cooking oil and a bar of soap.
That's left her and 5 grandchildren in an extremely difficult position.
During the last season, we harvested 1.5 buckets of maize, which won't go very far. We are already not eating properly, so this will just make life tougher.
The elderly neighbors live in Hopley, an informal settlement on the outskirts of Harare. Many of the residents here live in poverty. Already in dire straits, the economic fallout from the coronavirus pandemic will leave this community in an even more vulnerable state. The government has launched a $2.2 billion appeal to help it respond to COVID-19, a target that may be hard to reach given that as at February, the World Food Programme had still not raised the funds needed to feed 4.1 million food-insecure Zimbabweans.
The impact of COVID-19 hitting hard in some parts of Zimbabwe, as you can see there in that report. Well, viewers, that's all we have for you on this news bulletin. But for more details on this and other stories, you can also look on our website on iafrica.tv. Many thanks for the pleasure of your company. Bye for now and stay safe.
Have your say.
Fellow Gambians, my government has approved a $500 million emergency fund, which the Ministries of Health and Finance will work on for disbursement and use to fight COVID-19 menace.
xaalis bi tege yomb na waaye xamul lu jafe mooy séddale bi niñ ko séddalee ak ndax dinañ ko jox ñi ko yeeyoo wala duñ leen ko jox loolu moo jara laajte.
cos loo xam ne la nit yee tax ñu joxe ko te nit ñi ñoo leen fa teg te xaalis nit yi la comme xaalisi population bi la wax dëgg yàlla li gënoon mooy ku nekk gis sa boppa
man su ma sañoon daal ñu séedoo ko nu mu waroo buñ si def xaaj loo ñii diw nañ ko si ku nekk loo war a am nga am ko.
askan bi seen dem ak dikk bu ñu wàññee mu jël ko def ko si loolu noonu participer ko si loolu noonu ba nga xam ne danañ mën a ànd ak moom si wàññi suñu dem ak suñu dikk.
génne leen xaalis bi nañ ko génnee ñu defar suñu réew mi defar réew nag da nga koy commencé njàng mu baax nit ñi di faju feebar di faju tan feebar di faju dafa xemul kombo loolu affaire bi du kombo rek nañ génne ci àll bi yëpp ñu defar fa hôpital li war man mi nekk kombo moo war ka nekk fototo moo war ka nekk Pokaw Njóogu moo war ko nekk feneen.
waaye nit doo ko mën a wax mu teg këram joxuloo ko dara lu mu lekk soo ñun balaa corona dañu rey xiif moo ñoo rey.
nguur bi su nekkee ne 500 millions Gambie ñaata population bi ñu ñaata lañ.
2 point or 1 point.
ok 2 point boobu noonu su nekkee dañ ko war a séddale si nit ñi ku nekk ñaata la war a am.
million su bëri soosu noonu nañ ko xaaj jox xel benn half ñu téyegum ñu jël beneen half bi yóbbu ko ci communauté bi ñu téyegum
silang ni arda ko bulu courant lu sorota ani borolu